Welcome back. In today's episode, I will be interviewing Mr. Hanslo, Deputy Principal of Soneike High. He's in charge of the agriculture section within the school, and he's going to show us around and tell us a little bit more about how they got started, where they are at, and where they are going with the agriculture section. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Mr. Hanslo, and he will take it over from here. Welcome, Mr. Hanslo. Thank you for taking the time so that I can interview you. I don't have much questions. I would just actually like you to tell us how this all started, who came up with the idea to have an agriculture section at the school, and I heard a little bit of something about space as well, so if we can add that, that would be appreciated. So yeah, you can start off wherever you like and just tell us a little bit about Soneike High's agriculture section.
Good afternoon, everybody. The proper way to start of where we're at right now is to go a few years back, prior to 2018, when we started our Space STEM program. The main drive in school was first reading. Let's stimulate reading, and which is like the gateway subject to everything else that kids learn from, and also address our kind of a backlog in our communities around maths and science. That was a real problem that we had to address. Space STEM started by looking at spatial data, how kids can collect this data and use this data to build a greater understanding of the role of maths and science in society and the building blocks of life on Earth in general. That was the starting point. We were really fortunate that a company called X in the Box came on board and built modular chips, things kids could just walk outside, attach to a battery, and for the first time have a complete weather station, whether it is sunlight intensity, whether it's temperature, the amount of gases in the air, and they were just fascinated. And the program grew out of that. What we found though was your top maths and science learners were advantaged, and we needed more. We needed to touch base right in our grade 8 and 9 level, and out of that project grew the desire to reach more kids much earlier as they enter our school. Now, how do you transfer that? We realized in one of our in-service training, that one of the speakers came up and said, it is significant how children or young people walk into primary and high school and they walk in there, even out of school, and they can't use a ruler properly. Interpersonal skills, things that you actually take for granted, is just not there. It just never happened. It just never did. And part of the agri project or the agriculture project was, let's use our space. Let's go outside. Let's go plant. Let's go measure. Let's look at the depth we plant something. Let's look at the width and the distance between plants and things, and let our kids get involved. Experiential learning. The more you can experience, the more you learn, because a lot of self-taught things stays in memory much longer than things that is banged there by an educator. And out of that was born the idea of starting an agriculture project. Today it's called an agriculture project. You know, we always refine, you always want to be better, you always want to sound grand, and it's important to sound grand because that is where we come from, a vision of being good and a vision of putting something out there, not necessarily that others don't have, but what is needed for our communities. I think to a degree COVID helped us along. We realized that this project can become the stepping stone for something much greater. Food sovereignty, the ability of communities to eat not just what is available, but what is healthy, what is nutritious, and the project just started growing and growing. Now, not to miss something important, I will just try and not wrap it up, but put it in perspective. At present, we have an agricultural society. Out of our agri project, we added a subject called agricultural science. So while we have learners involved in as a subject doing agricultural science, we also have learners involved in the agri project, Soneike agricultural project, and they physically do the planting. A lot of the work outside is now conducted by learners. So twofold. One, there is an opportunity to take the food home and eat it, so it's consumption. Secondly, a lot of them actually end up selling, so they're in a better position to rebuy and to replant. And most important, to understand how is it possible that we can actually grow food in urban areas. Okay, let's look at the practicalities and the biggest detractors from growing food. Soil. We don't need it. We can plant, we can bring soil in. Water. There is not a massive shortage of water, although that could be a problem. We have to learn how to harvest water. We can harvest water. We need to understand the relationship between soil. The Cape Flats itself is a very sandy, not the greatest soil on earth, but it is a soil. And we can improve the biology of the soil. And kids need to learn and understand how do we improve the biology of the soil? How do we end up? And that is called regenerative farming. So by regenerating, we also can we bring back the environment? Can we re-establish what is lost? And yes, it is possible. We've seen it here on site, birds and all kinds of birds and animals that came back and become almost resident, which you thought would never happen anymore. So yes, regenerating, building around our learners and let them be part of the project. In fact, they need to start spearheading the project, and hopefully some of them will actually go and find a career in agriculture, because agriculture is not planting. Agriculture is science, it's research, it's marketing, it's distribution, understanding how we can make the product cheaper by shortening the distance to the market. And where do we sell most of the food? Most of the food are sold in urban areas, and not just in rural areas. The biggest market is urban areas. The cost of the food we need to decrease by decreasing the distance to the market. These are simplistic little things, and they are simplistic. But what has happened now also is the recognition the school gained from the project. So now there's an invite for our learners to go to Germany. Okay, so they can go to Germany. Why would anybody invite learners out of the township to go to Germany and out of RDP housing to go to Germany? To maybe help plant a food garden and establish a food garden in Germany. And that is what makes us believe, and not just believe, know that we are doing the right thing. Our vision is important to drive our children and our learners forward. And that vision we work on every day. And the more and more we need to transfer what we believe into these kids, and they need to take it into the future. Because food security, we've passed that already. We don't want to be food secure, because you can give somebody anything that is grown or genetically modified and you can eat it. But we want the sovereignty. We want the decent food. It must be healthy. It must be organically grown. And once those seeds are laid down, then I think our project will go the right way.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hanslo. I really appreciate your time. What an amazing story. I hope a lot of schools will follow in the footsteps of Soneike High and look after their communities, start something. And yeah, farming, we have a big need of farmers, people that understand agriculture. It's nothing just to go plant stuff, but to actually understand what you are doing there. And to balance it all out, it's difficult. But once you get the grip of it, it gets easier. I'm still struggling every day. But yeah, thank you for the time. I love the story, really. It's amazing. And I can't wait to share it with the viewers. I know you guys are going to make such a hit on my channel. And yeah, I'm going to take another walk around and just show them what you guys have got going here and how amazing it is. But thank you again.
You're welcome.